Hey kiddos, it's Mrs. Wheeler here again, and today our art project is going to be on still lifes. A still life is when you're drawing something that you see right in front of you. So it's like a still object from real life. So I'm going to be drawing a puppy for my still life. You can draw whatever you want for your still life. So if you have a puppy or stuffed animal that you want to draw, go for it. If you want to draw the banana that is sitting on your kitchen table, that's totally fine too. It's whatever you want to draw for your still life. So go ahead and find that object so you can get started. All right, so I've got my dog and I'm gonna set him up right here. So you won't really be able to see him, but I'll be drawing him as if I am looking at him like this. Okay, so I'm gonna set him here, or looking at him like this, I guess I should say, from the right angle. And so I'm gonna set him here and I will go ahead and draw him. All you're gonna need is a pencil, a Sharpie if you wanna outline, and a crayons to color, or whatever it is that you have to color. So, how this is going to work is I'm just gonna start drawing. And I don't wanna draw a super tiny dog in the middle of my paper. I wanna go ahead and still fill my paper. So I'm looking at it and I notice that the mouth is, like his snout is kind of round right here. This part of his snout. So I'm drawing that first, and that's where I'm gonna start. So start with his snout. And then I notice his head kind of comes out and up and around here. So I just drew like this part of the face of my puppy. Okay, and then I'm gonna draw his ears. They're floppy down. This head's a little too wide. So the ears come out and down. And notice, I'm not pressing really hard. I'm just kind of like lightly sketching my dog in, because I just know that I'm not perfect and I will probably make mistakes as I'm drawing this. So I'm just kind of sketching in my details as best I can. So even like the little dips on the nose of the dog and the nostril holes that are on it, drawing those as well. And I noticed that the eyes, see here, the eyes touch, like there's this snout, so the eyes touch right where that snout meets. So I'm gonna go ahead and put those eyes right there because I know that they touch right there. And it's okay if yours doesn't look exact, that's just fine. But I've noticed that when I draw things from actually looking at them, they always turn out better than if I just drew them out of my mind, because I can see all the details. There's actually like a little crease right here in the puppy, probably from the seams. Let's make a little light in the eye. Okay, now I'm gonna start the body, and I notice that his shoulders kind of come out and down a little bit. And they come about like right here. And he's got his little paws kind of come out. Like that. And he's got the lines in him. And I'm not gonna worry about trying to do like the fuzzy texture of the dog. That's gonna be something else. So when I look at the table, I see that the bottom of the dog, so like this part sits a little bit further back, not quite up as far as, not up as far as the actual paws go. So about right there. And I notice that his back legs kind of stick out and kind of come right here, and they have those same lines. I'm going. All right, and I can't see the puppy's tail. So like, even though the dog has a tail, I don't actually see that from the angle that I'm looking at it. So if I hold it like this, you don't see the tail. So I'm not gonna draw it because I can't see it from where I'm looking. Okay, so that's my puppy. I drew him as I saw him. So then from here, I'm gonna go ahead and outline. Oh wait, I forgot a mouth. Because he's actually just got like a little teeny You see it's kind of like a little V there. So I'm gonna go ahead and add that little mouth detail in real quick. So it's a line and then a little V. All right, and then I'm gonna go ahead and outline. If you don't have a Sharpie, you can outline with whatever you have. I know it's hard to see on camera, but he's actually got like a little brown around his eyes, so I'm leaving that to color brown. And since this is like a stuffed animal and not a real dog, it looks a little bit more cartoonish, and that's okay because we're just learning how to draw still lifes, so I don't expect your things, whatever you draw, to look exactly like the object that you're drawing. You're just doing the best you can to make it look like the object. And like I said, I didn't even try to draw the fur texture on my puppy. I'm just worrying about having the outline done. So there's my drawing of my dog all outlined. You can outline it with whatever you want as long as it's black. Or if you don't have anything, you don't have to outline it. I noticed that some parts of my dog are a little darker, so I kind of like this chestnutty brown, but I also want to find like a nice golden. Maybe this one. These look, probably this one looks a little more like my dog. And I'm gonna go ahead and erase out any pencil lines before I start coloring. Oopsies, I just realized I forgot to add this guy in. There. And to start, I'm just gonna go ahead and put this golden color everywhere on my puppy. Except for areas where it's like not golden, like the eyes and nose. I know that that's gonna be brown and black. Like that. So you could stop there, but if you want to make it a little bit more detailed, something you could do is start to like add a second layer and press a little harder on any parts that look a little bit darker on your stuffed animal. So I noticed, you know, there's like this fold in the ear. It's darker right here, darker around here, just from a little bit of shadows and stuff. And this is going to help to kind of make your object look a little bit more 3D by adding this shading. So basically almost around the edges, anywhere where there's different sections of the dog that meet, it looks a little bit darker from what I notice. Like I said, I'm just pressing harder. And I can kind of make these come out a little bit further than they need to, because I'm also going to go in with that like chestnut color that I pulled out as well. So like right here is really a shadow because it's actually underneath of the dog. So like if you look at it, this part would be in the shadow because it's further back of the dog. Then I'm going to go in with that darker color and just do some light shading on those areas as well to kind of make them stand out. and look a little bit darker. I feel like this really gives the dog like the more golden color, since he is a little bit of a golden, he's a yellow lab or a golden retriever. What do you think he is? Let me know. I always have a hard time looking at stuffed animal dogs and trying to figure out like the difference between a golden retriever or a yellow lab. I'm never quite sure which exact dog it is, but I know some of you are probably dog connoisseurs, dog geniuses, like all about them. I know that my child's all about dogs, so I wonder if you can tell what dogs are easier than me. All right, so see how I've added that shading? It really makes parts of the dog stand out. So again, that was just one color all over, and then I pressed harder with it to get some shading, and then I used this a little bit darker color to add some more shading, but I didn't press super hard with this darker color. I just kind of lightly shaded over, and if you wanted, you could kind of go back and fill some yellow areas in as well. Totally up to you. He has chocolate brown eyes, so I'm gonna go ahead and color those eyes in. And he's got a black nose. There we go. And his nose. So I also noticed that the dog is kind of like sitting on the table. So my table, I could draw that here. So I could draw that he's sitting on it once you finish that. For my background if I wanted. So if you don't want to add a background, you absolutely don't have to. If you just want to draw patterns around your animal, that's totally fine. Or if you want to draw the surface that your still life is sitting on, that's totally fine with you. As long as you draw your still life object, that's what I'm looking for. Otherwise, the background is up to you. My table is kind of like this brown woodish color, so I'm just going to lightly shade in the brown table. This isn't the exact color, but I didn't want to do the golden color too much because I feel like it really blends in with the color of the dog. A bonus step is if I look and kind of see where the shadows are at, and I notice that there's kind of a shadow. So I'm gonna press a little bit harder all around my dog here and in through here. If you don't wanna draw the shadow, that's totally fine. This is just a more advanced step that you can take if you want to. All right, and then obviously my walls are not blue, but I just want to finish this and make it all fully colored, so I'm just gonna take my blue and fill that in. Oopsies. Just a nice light coloring. I'm not worrying about getting it super dark on this background. I just like to make sure that my space is filled. Like that. And then my dog still life is done. I will, at the end of this video, I will post a picture of just my dog still life drawing, and then I'll post a picture of my dog, and I'll post a picture of them together. So I hope you enjoyed this. I look forward to seeing what your still lifes look like and what you chose to draw. See you in a couple weeks.